Hello, everybody. It's Donna Cravata, and we are here for another live interview for the Real 50 Over 50. And today we have Beverley Glazer, and this is a very special interview. I mean, they were all special, but some are more special. This is under the more special category. Beverly is a strategic thinking partner and reinvention strategist, and she kind of meets at the intersection where psychology and strategy connect. And she helps women over 50 curate their bold next act, which is very near and dear to my heart. She's the high performance transition coach, strategist, and podcast host who spent her career helping women rise with confidence and clarity. With over 3 decades in private practice, Beverly has guided people through the most extreme transitions, from witness protection programs to the boardroom, and she's become a trusted voice for navigating change. She spent decades as a leading voice for women in transition, one of the first to really recognize that women over 50 were getting shortchanged in a couple of places.
Right.
And that we need a bigger platform and new ways to amplify our voices. She hosted her own AM radio show, Get a Life with Beverly Glazer, and then launched her acclaimed 5% globally ranked top podcast, Aging with Purpose and Passion, in 2020. This weekly platform serves as a blueprint for women over 50, sharing raw stories of guests who have navigated the shift from invisible to impactful. She's a sought after coach, mentor, and she's a syndicated writer for AOL, Psychology Today, and MSNBC. Beverly uses her deep clinical toolkit to guide high achieving women who have outgrown the life they spent decades building to expand into their new vision without fear, and that their most impactful years are not behind them, they're in front of them. She's the author of the upcoming book, The What's Next Factor, for women who have checked off the boxes and still can't find the missing link. Welcome, Beverly. And there's more. I can go on and talk about this woman for the entire interview, but we're not going to do that because we want to hear from her. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you for inviting me because this platform is terrific. We were just talking about that, how important it is for women to get together and support each other.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
matters.
I mean, the one of the things that has been really coming up for me, I just launched on Substack, and this is actually the first interview that I'm hoping is live on Substack. We'll see. But one of the things that has come up for me, and you are such a big part of this, is that we have these concentric circles of wisdom, and they're not linear. They're not like I come crashing into your world or you come crashing into my world. We're still out there doing our things, and they're spinning around, and sometimes they touch, and then they go back to their little circles again, and then they touch and they go back to their circles, and it just feels so natural.
It does. It does. Everything seems to be converging, Donna.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about that the other day. I mean, what I do, it's so hard to just put a name for what I do because there are so many different names. But what I do is really what I love and what I believe in. And what I believe in is that women over 50 who are at the top of their game have so very much pressure and nobody even realizes how much pressure they have. And I was just thinking of just a client right now. I mean, she's absolutely on top of her game. She is an aeronautic engineer. She is a manager of people, and she, what she would define, as we were talking about, so many things intersect, would be burnout.
Yeah.
And you say, like, why are you burning out? Well, she goes to HR and they will give her a couple of therapists, etc. She came to me 3 therapists later, and she says, I don't understand. I I'm procrastinating. I don't feel like going to work. I want to change jobs, and I've already changed jobs, and it's very hard for me to change jobs. So you have to go through such a long process on her level. And when I just evaluated and thought about it, I said, you don't need therapy. And she says, I know, I've been through 3 of them. I do not need therapy.
Yeah.
And here I am with the label of a therapist telling somebody I don't need therapy. And that's the reason I do this high level coaching,
Mhm.
because most people don't need therapy, but everybody needs help. And it's not burnout. She can take as much of a
Mhm.
stress leave as she likes. She'll
Yeah.
come back to the same situation. And why? Because her personal life, and this is a woman that could say, hey, she's single. She has no pressure. She has a large, job and is making all kinds of money. No problem for her. But of course, the family looks at that and says, well, she has no pressure. And
Yeah,
so
she
here
doesn't need
she's
any
carrying
pressure.
the job. Exactly. And
Yeah.
women go through this. So now she's the one handling the family, which isn't in the same province and traveling
Mhm.
back and forth. And as far as the job concerned, this is 2 jobs, 3
Yeah.
jobs perhaps. And women go through this. This is not a man thing. So, what I do when I talk to people is I work with the situation, who they are, what they are, and put a label on that. Sometimes I'm
Mhm.
a coach, sometimes I'm a therapist, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm an advisor, sometimes a consultant. Stop the labels. I mean,
What do
people
you
have called
show
me
up with you show up in with the hat you need.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes I'm on a retainer, sometimes it's one and done.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, this is the way we're moving today. And I really feel that.
Yeah.
And it's the same with you, Donna. This is what you're doing for women. It's what we all need today. We're
It
all
is
in
what
it together.
there's no doubt that I've never felt like this before. I've been working since I'm 16 years old, and
Yeah.
I worked for 25 plus years, and then I started a business 20 years ago, and I've done lots of things, and I have never felt the way I feel right now. And what I think, like when you bring up the word first, burnout, and I'd love to know what you think about this because, I'm doing this from a different end, but it's the same thing. I mean, this morning I was sending a client like, how she could sell merch from her table at an event, and I was like, "I don't even do this." But the thing that I keep coming up against, and I'm really curious to see if it's the same thing for you, it's frustration. It's not burnout.
No, it's frustration, it's overload, it's the fact that people are not listening.
Yeah.
There's no one there to hear. And that is really what I do. I provide a safe space for people to think out loud.
Yeah.
And then what I do is ask the right questions so that they get the insights and they can move forward themselves. So it's not just about, it's to clear the noise, to
Yeah.
set the path, because we're moving so fast in so many different directions. And who is there to talk to us? It is so lonely the higher up you go.
Yeah.
And you're the one that is supposed to give advice to everybody else.
Mhm.
And who is there for you? That's why people have called me the Bev, Donna. I think it's hysterical, but it's like, oh, I have to talk to the Bev.
Well, I mean, you've
So
seen it
funny.
all, you know? I mean, how long have you been doing this? You have seen it all,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you've
yeah, over
written.
30 years, like you said, from
Yeah.
witness protection programs to the boardroom. I mean, and we all have problems,
Yes.
and some more, some less. And that's the reason I do the podcast Aging with Purpose and Passion, because each and every one of us, Donna, has challenges. And the way women have gone through their lives and overcome so many
So many.
circumstances from it's
Oh,
incredible.
my goodness.
And so,
This morning, I was, like, listening to your podcast interviews and, making some notes, and, but I was scrolling through and just, like, the directory and just,
yeah,
like, reading the ones, like, what are the ones I'm gonna pop in and out of, and I wanted to get, like, a little broad, broad view. Almost every single one had childhood trauma in the description.
Well, who doesn't have childhood
Yeah,
trauma? It's all relevant.
I know, but
And
it was like right there. It was like 5 words in.
well, Freud said blame it on the mother, right? It's like it can
But
go
but
back to that.
but, you
Yeah.
know, when you are carrying that, I mean, I've had it. I got a legit 7 on my ACEs score, but, when you're carrying that and you are feeling this frustration and you're
Mhm.
feeling that nobody's listening to you, that stuff comes flying back decades
Oh yes.
right into
And
whatever you're doing.
oh yes. And what I'm thinking of just as you're speaking is you can be talking in boardrooms, you can be speaking in court, and that imposter syndrome, that little girl
Yeah.
is still there. Okay. And although I don't do this inner child work, that's all therapy stuff or whatever, no, but it's to understand and to connect that you're
Yeah.
not that.
You're not
That
that.
has to go. You are not that label. But your mind keeps bringing you back there, which is I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. And older women have it even more. Now,
Well,
now I have to compete more.
well, not just that, but all of our systems. I mean,
That's
this is
right.
why I started this in the first place. All of our systems, the healthcare, the governments, educational, they're all
Yeah,
directed at telling us to shut up and sit down, that we're
yeah,
over.
yeah,
So how
yeah,
how do you not have imposter syndrome? How do you not pull back this trauma that you've had as a child?
exactly.
It's built for that to happen. And, the work that you're doing is so incredibly important, and not just your consulting work and your coaching and your therapy work, but the podcasts. I mean, that's, years of podcasts, and, you were doing this before podcasts, but just putting those voices out there, putting those stories out there that people can relate to is, I mean, I cannot even imagine how many lives you've changed. And being early, talking about women over 50 specifically, nobody was talking about that.
No, no. Women over 50 were put to pasture.
Yeah,
you know, Back in the day, you didn't even talk about menopause.
no,
Everything is open now, which is good, but it takes generations to change the mindset on it. It doesn't happen
no,
overnight.
no,
And so we are still in the process of that change. We still have the history of our mothers and our grandmothers. It has not changed. And men have grown up the way men have grown up as well, with all those stereotypes of where a woman should be.
yeah,
And although they may be fighting it, it's still there. And so we have to start owning our path forward. We have to start moving in a direction where we say, I deserve it. This is
yeah,
what I know. An older woman has wisdom. She's powerful, but
yeah.
it's conscious. And this is
And
why communities like yours is so powerful too, because we need each other, talk about that, give ourselves to that high five. We're good girls.
yeah.
it's
The other thing that I that comes to me so often is that we need to choose what we want and claim it and
Mhm.
say it and then do it, because
Yeah.
we were brought up to just take whatever was given to us,
Mhm.
and that doesn't work.
No,
It's
no,
never in our best interest.
no, never. And we also have to learn to be more assertive.
Hmm.
And that's another problem. And
But
it's a
yeah,
problem personally. I'm one of these people that sit back, look, analyze. I won't jump in right away. This is me, and that's okay. Not everybody has to be aggressive, but everybody has to be somewhat assertive
yes,
because the world runs like that.
yeah,
And, we've even had studies where women and men are in the audience and you ask a question, and who's raising their hands first primarily is the men.
yeah, and they
You
don't even
know?
have the answer yet. What
Exactly.
are questions being questions
Exactly.
being asked?
You know, but they'll do it. They'll fall on their face. It won't matter. But a woman, oh, I don't think so.
Well,
You know,
that's how we were. I mean, and I
exactly.
don't even wanna say that's how we were raised, but that was the world we were raised in.
Yeah.
And, um,
Be
and
polite. Don't make waves. You know, be a good girl. Be nice. All these things should be there. They're valuable. But
yeah,
to be assertive, to say, no, this does not sit with me, to be able to stand for what you believe and own it and not feel guilty about it,
mm,
all this is so important for women.
it is because we were always, the woman who asked for what she wanted or staked her claim was always perceived to be the B word, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
And you have to
Exactly.
be okay with being called that. I'm good with
Yep.
it. Call me what you
Yep.
want.
I'm good with it too. Everyone likes to be liked, but hey, maybe you're not my people.
Um,
Yeah,
there's a difference between kind and nice.
for sure. For sure.
And
And assertive and aggressive.
yeah,
There's a big difference with that too.
yeah.
And to be assertive, absolutely. Aggressive, there's not, there's
Up,
ways to handle
when
that.
needed. When needed. That's an
I get
escalation. That's an escalation. Sometimes you have to go there.
sometimes you do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about the book you're writing.
Oh, yes, that's a book in process. Yeah. It stemmed from a lot of clients that I've been speaking to, and I'm still getting research. What it really is women, and this is women that are successful, women are on the top, women that are on top of their game. And then there is the what's next factor. So
Mhm,
it's they've checked all the boxes. They've done all the right things. They have great profiles on LinkedIn. They are where they should be.
mhm,
Terrific. And they're not happy.
mhm,
And why? We've done everything right. And why can't we just sit on our laurels? Well, some people can, and that's good if you can. But what the what's next factor is really about is you can grow and you have the right to grow into what's next.
mhm,
And our society, we keep on blaming it, but it is true, says, why do you keep doing this?
mhm,
And I know personally, I've heard this, like, why don't you stop, Bev? I mean, like, why are you working so hard? A, I'm not working so hard. I love what I
mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And B,
That's the difference.
why
That's the difference.
should
They
I?
don't know what they don't know what that feels like.
No, I don't think I'd be great at pickleball anyway. If that's your thing, fine. But I
Yeah,
love what I do. And many women love what they do.
yeah,
And I've spoken to founders and I've spoken to people that, perhaps don't want to work the same way.
yeah.
Perhaps they want to retire or they have retired. And then they say, is this what it is?
Mhm.
What happens after that, Donna, is depression.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's like, where is my purpose? What is going on here? Have I built this mountain just to stay there?
Mm.
Because as you know, when you're there, it gets very boring.
Yeah.
And for bright people, the worst possible feeling is to feel you're mediocre and to have people just pass you by. And that's what goes on. And that's what the book is about. What's next?
Mm.
And there's often guilt with that. It's like, and I've heard this, I'm going out with my friends and they have less than me. And they look at me and say, well, this is nothing for you, but for us, it's something. And for her, she just says, what do you mean it's nothing for me? I'm so happy to be with you. I
Mm.
am not different from you, although this woman happens to have millions.
Mhm.
She's different from most people, but she wants more. And they say, why? because she says here, what she did, she happened to have, now she's the president of her company, but it came from her father, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You are who you are. You're a person. You don't want to be treated any different. And talk of the imposter syndrome. It's like when she's wearing the clothes she's supposed to wear at work, she feels like an imposter just in those clothes, because it's like, this isn't me. I'm happy to be in a sweatsuit. And so, and feels like that, and wants to be among it's a huge company, among the workers in the company, and that was where she grew up and what she really knows. And so the feeling now is, now that she has that C-suite underneath her, what do I know is how she feels. Maybe I should start another company because that's what I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, are you crazy? Now, I'm talking in circles here, but what I'm saying is everybody who wants challenge wants what's next.
Yeah.
And we don't have to just leave it all and blow it up and say, okay, I'm going to take time off. And then, whatever it is, we don't have to blow it up. We can grow through it. And there are 4 psychological seismic shifts that you can make to grow through it so that you can own it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm saying about this person. The seismic shift she really hasn't made, because when she's wearing those clothes or stands on platforms, she does feel she's performing.
Yeah.
But when you own who you are and you feel comfortable in your own skin, I'm not going to say stand on stages with sweatpants, but it won't matter really. Look at Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
His black t-shirts fit up. Then again, he was male. I just gave it a shot, but still, we will be judged harsher. But what we're saying is feel authentic. Own who you are. And it doesn't matter how high you are or literally how low you are. And I'm saying that because I've spoken to people in high places and very low places. You don't have to be embarrassed with who you are. It's a journey. You're going through it and you can get out of it. And if you're at the top or even in the middle and don't feel you're at the top, or who the heck cares where you are, if you're uncomfortable, if you're just struggling, there are ways out. And that's for everyone. That is for everyone. Nothing is impossible. I totally believe that, Donna.
And change is nothing to be embarrassed about, because people will try to make you feel wrong about wanting change and wanting to do something new. And when I left my job, I was 42 years old, a single parent, and making a very good salary. And it was very, I could have had that job for as long as I wanted it. And I didn't want it anymore. And my family stopped speaking to me because they just couldn't understand what I was doing. And I didn't care. I needed to do that because I had a small child at home and I was the only person. And I was not okay with not being there for his upbringing.
I'm hearing you. Okay, I'm hearing you. My life was a circuitous route, and I'm happy for every twist and turn in the road. And I remember when I went back after I was working with Native communities and saw what was going on up north, and went back to university and got my degrees, etc. And I was on the PhD track, and I stopped. And my parents at the time, not my dad, he checked out, but my mom, the mere fact that, what, you're not continuing to your PhD? And the reason for that was, no, I really wanted the boots on the ground experience. I really wanted to do the heavy lifting. I did not want to do all the research. That wasn't for me. I can read the research. I can understand the research, but it's the people I was interested in. And from that, it just continued further. And we use all our experiences to our advantage. We do. And I'm going back, keep on circling again. There's my circuitous route, right? To the podcast, Aging with Purpose and Passion. We are who we are. So people, of course, are talking about their books and they're talking about whatever they do. However, we are who we are, and we do what we do because of who we are.
Yeah.
So it's all that circle. And
Yeah.
yes,
And
that's
the
the
trouble
change.
comes in when you try to, stop it, when you don't pay attention to who you are, because you're
Sure.
trying to accommodate for somebody else.
Yeah. And life is like that. And people that have big problems is when they go down that yellow brick road and it's not so yellow and they hit that door
Yeah.
and they can't pivot because they feel it's a failure if they do or make a
Yeah.
change. And I've seen people on a professional path that just say, I hate my life. And I've heard that so many times. And that is such a shame.
Mhm.
And there's even ways there where you can use what you have and go where you know and get what you want and love your life.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should all have that privilege.
Yeah. Amen. And we can. You know what? We can. I think a lot of the things that we create for ourselves are things that we don't even really need, that we perceive that we need, and those are the things that keep us from having what we actually want. And when we can really look at this clearly, and I don't think that this really happens for most people until they're north of 50, because
Yeah.
there's too much other distraction going on and too much tied to what other people need from us. I don't even want to say what they think, but that it's their needs. We're putting our needs aside for other people's needs for
Oh,
decades.
yeah.
And then there's that whole piece of body abandonment when we have that health crisis that we all seem to have.
The crisis comes from a lot of shoulds, Donna. You
Yeah,
know, it
yeah,
comes from I should have, you
yeah.
could have, you might have, but how about this? You didn't. And so what?
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't think that you can, have clarity around all of that until you're out of the middle.
Mhm.
There's
Exactly.
just too much swirling around you.
Yeah, exactly. And that is really that thinking space I offer,
Mhm.
which is stop the madness.
Yeah.
And I do everything online. So when people all of a sudden hit that button, then I could just see the wheels moving. It's like, oh, okay, now stop.
Mhm.
Okay. Now it's your time. Put it aside. And it's the truth. When you're on a high pace, very often, when I'm working with clients, they don't need much time. They know what they have to
Yeah.
do. They have to sort it out. And then once you get the insight, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
because we have the tools.
Mhm.
And if you don't have the tools, we can put together the tools. But nothing, I say it again, nothing is impossible. I mean, unless you ask me to have wings and fly, but
Yeah.
nothing
What, you mean
really.
you can't do that? Somebody
Well,
lied to me.
they say Red Bull is helpful. I don't use any of this. but no, the fact is really, if you want to do it, and I say it again, you have to believe in yourself.
Okay.
You have to say, and even if you don't really believe in yourself, but you're wishing you can believe in yourself, that's enough. That's a spark,
Yeah. Well,
and that's
actually
a
just
spark to
being
move forward.
open to believing it, because
Exactly.
if you're not open to believing it, what you're open to is letting somebody tell you it's not possible.
Exactly. Exactly.
And, like, but it's like a muscle memory. Like, once you feel it, once you know what it feels like, then it's possible.
Yes. And that's why everything has to be done in very small incremental
Mhm.
steps.
Yeah.
And then once you get that, it's a launch.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, I could do this. But before that, you come in and you're all in a swirl, you know?
You don't have
And
the
so,
evidence. You don't have the
no,
evidence.
no. And that's all because we think with our own brains and we always need somebody else to bounce something off
Mhm.
and to give the insights to say, well, maybe what about this? Or, and then there's that aha moment. And when you get the aha, it's like, I could do this.
Of
Oh,
course.
yes.
And it's
Then,
usually followed with, "I already have."
and you can. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is
I love
such
it.
fun, Donna.
It is such fun, and I cannot believe that we're already at a half an hour. Um, is there anything you wanted people to know?
Yes. Okay. If you just take a look at all that you've done throughout your life, from the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it, and see how much you've come through and how much wisdom you have, I want you just to think about it and own it. And that's really what it is in everything you do. Don't look at all the social media and all the people that are doing these fantastic things. Okay, it can be a show. You own it, and then you'll get it, and you can go. Be authentic, be yourself.
What a wisdom bomb.
Thank you, Donna.
Well,
Thank you for the privilege of being here, really.
well, thank you for coming because, this is all I have to say. But everybody,
Thank
if
you
you're
so
listening
much.
on the replay, go and visit Beverly's website, reinventimpossible.com, and keep an eye out for her new book, and share this with other people that need to see it, and put comments, put questions, ideas, thoughts in the comments, tag us. We will come back and keep the conversation going. And we're lined up with interviews months in advance. So coming back on Wednesdays on LinkedIn, YouTube, and now Substack Live. Thank you, Beverly. It's just been
Thank you.
wonderful to spend time today.
Thanks so much.